What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to episode 679 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the City of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you, getting your week started right. Oh my gosh, guys, I am just getting home from NLDS Game 2 at the Bank, an instant classic, and we have a series. I don't have a voice, but we have a series. The Phils win 7-6. They walk it off in style with our guy, Nicky C, coming through for Phillies fans worldwide. We're going to break down the game, talk about the ins and outs of just the pure and utter chaos that was Game 2 of the NLDS. We do have a voicemail as well that was sent to our voicemail line, which you guys can call into whenever. The voicemail line is always open, and we will listen to voicemails on every Sunday episode that comes out on Monday. So every Monday episode that drops in your feed on YouTube and on audio, you will have voicemails if they are sent. So click the link in the description, visit our SpeakPipe page, and leave us a voicemail. Can be up to 90 seconds, and looking forward to hearing from everybody. But before we get into breaking down just an absolute mayhem of a game, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, the whole 9 yards. Follow us everywhere you consume social media, because our Red October coverage is going to be bananas. I promise you that. We're alive. Okay? Follow us on the socials. Follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and on Instagram and Threads at KBIZZLE11. Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow. It helps us continue to hit new audiences, especially this time of year that is so big for us during the postseason. So continue subscribing on Apple and Spotify. Leave a 5-star review. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm going to yawn here because I don't have a voice. We're at 847 subscribers on the YouTube. Let's get to 900. Let's get to 1,000. Let's keep it pushing, ladies and gents. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment down below. And, of course, ring that bell icon just like Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos did tonight, so that you don't miss out on any future videos, streams, or anything in between that comes out on our YouTube channel. And, guys, I'm alive. I'm drained, but I'm alive. This show, as always, is presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. Woo! I'm alive. Keep tagging Ghost Energy, y'all, because they're keeping me, no free ads, but they're keeping me up tonight, okay? They're keeping me alive. I exerted so much energy at the bank. Bank was open late on Sunday. keep tagging Ghost Energy and let them know that we want to work with them and have them energize our Red October coverage. But along with the City of Vineland, big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a series. The Fightin' Phils. Emphasis on the fighting because it was a never say die mentality. This game was absolute chaos throughout the entire game. Christopher Sanchez versus Luis Severino on the mound. And the Mets, they take an early 2-0 lead on a home run from someone who is instantly becoming one of my most hated players in baseball. It's Mark Vientos. I can't stand him. He gives the Mets a 2-0 lead, and then they go up 3-0 in the 6th inning, and I'm totally blanking on how they scored that home run. I know it was a home run, but you know why it doesn't matter? It's because the Phillies won this game. They won the game 7-6. Is it Sneech? That loser Pete Alonso, Sneech Alonso, hit a home run in the top of the 6th, made it 3-0. But guess what? Bryce Harper comes up to bat. City behind him. Full Citizens Bank Park behind him. Nukes a 2-run home run. Scores Trey Turner. Scores himself. Comes to home plate. Gets the crowd hyped up. Tells everyone to get the fuck up. And it was absolute scene. Like, my body vibrated, in ways that I didn't think were possible. I felt every electron, neuron, blood vessel, and everything just vibrating through my body when Bryce Harper nuked that home run to center field. And if it couldn't get any better, it did. Because our guy, Nicky C, comes up to bat the very next at bat and tanks one to left. Tanks one to left center. Phils and Mets tied 3-3 after the 6th. And then that dweeb, that dork, absolute loser, bucktooth dweeb, Brandon Nimmo, somehow hits a home run to right center field that turned Nick Castellanos all the way around. And then that fucker had something to say to JT Realmuto and was talking about Christopher Sanchez. Buddy, Christopher Sanchez was no longer in the game. Like, I'm genuinely concerned if Brandon Nimmo has, like, CTE or is confused about, like, what was going on, or if it was too loud for him to remember that Christopher Sanchez was not in the game. And if you're trying to talk shit on Christopher Sanchez, all of Philadelphia will come after you. Like, that is just... It's dumb. Brandon Nimmo is such a fucking dork, and I can't believe there's old head people. Shout out to my boy Mark Kramer, who like was talking about Brandon Nimmo is a dork. Like, he is a dork. And we had old heads in Philadelphia trying to say, why wouldn't you want Brandon Nimmo? I hope today woke so many people up to the fact that Brandon Nimmo is an absolute loser. He's a loser. And then bottom of the 7th comes around. The Phillies have 2 runners on base. It's 4-3. Kyle Schwarber's up to bat. Runners on first and second. 3-2 count, 2 outs. And they say Kyle Schwarber goes around on a check swing. It did not look like he went around when I watched the multiple angles of the replay. Some people are saying he did. I don't think he went around. And I think in that situation, that's just like an unbelievable thing to call as the home plate umpire. And that's not even me being biased. Like, I would say the same thing for any team, but that's just crazy. So the Phillies go. And then the bottom of the 8th, Carlos Estevez comes in, lockdown inning in the 8th. And then the Phillies come up to bat in the bottom of the 8th. Nick Castellanos singles on a line drive to right after Bryce drew the walk. Bryce Harper then goes to third. And that was one of the biggest plays in the game. It won't get talked about because it wasn't a scoring play per se. But the next play that happens, this Bryce Harper going to third base on Nick's single was huge. That changed the trajectory, in my opinion, of Bryson Stott's next at bat. Because now you have 1 out, runners on the corners, as opposed to 1 out, runners on first and second. And I know you're probably sitting at home saying, KB, that's not that big of a difference. Yes, it is, guys. That's a huge difference, okay? Because it changes Bryson's approach at the plate from a perspective of he knows that if he gets a base hit, it scores Bryce. And now the game is tied. It takes a lot of pressure away from the double play potentially happening. And I know I sound crazy, but the Phillies having first and third and 1 out in that situation as opposed to first and second and 1 out was a huge shift in the trajectory of this game, in my opinion, and it is such an underrated move. And I know we get on Bryce Harper a lot for his base running and some of the mistakes he makes on the base pass. That was one of the biggest plays on the base pass Bryce Harper has made all season long, was going first to third on Nick's single. So then, the birthday boy, Bryson Stott, comes up to bat. Runners on the corners, 1 out, and hits a line drive triple to right all the way to the corner. Bryce Harper scores. Ball game is tied. Nick Castellanos gets on his horse, and that is one of the fastest trips around the bases I've ever seen from Nicky C. And scores the go ahead run. I'm at a loss for words that I can't even speak. Nick scores the go ahead run, no throw. Phillies take the lead. It's 5-4. And then JT Realmuto reaches on a fielder's choice that there was no throw. There was nothing that could be had. JT save at first. Bryson Stott scores. It's 6-4 Phillies going to the 9th inning. You need 3 outs. Phillies are doing the thing. 3 outs. We're counting down. There's 1 out. Harrison Bader out. And then this son of a bitch, Mark Vientos, on a pitch that was like at his chin, hits a homer to left field, scores Francisco Lindor. It's a tie game, 6-6. We bring in Jeff Hoffman after Matt Strom is removed. And Jeff Hoffman sends us to the bottom of the 9th. Austin Hayes strikes out. And then Kyle Schwarber, I believe, got on base. Was it Schwarber who scored? Let's see. I totally forget. I blank. No, it was Schwarber popped out. That's right. And then there was an injury delay. And I'll tell you what, I think this injury delay helped the Phillies. Nimmo and somebody ran into each other. They both ended up being totally fine. Got a little boo-boo from running into his own teammate. I genuinely think that fucked with the Mets pitchers, like, just timing and cadence, because Trey Turner walks, which was huge. Bryce Harper walks. Trey goes to second. You have runners on first and second with 2 outs. And then, coming to the plate, Captain Clutch himself, Mr. Consistency, the walk-off master, Nick Castellanos, on a single down the line. Down the left field line he goes. Scores Trey Turner. And the Phillies win 7-6. We have a series, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Castellanos walks it off, and, you know, Nick was having a tough go outside, you know, in some spots, and he hits the home run. That was just an absolute nuke of a homer. Like, he launched that bitch. And then, you know, there's a camera catches him saying these fucking people when he's swinging at some pitches and then lays off a one, and people cheer and everything. Nick knows, I think, more than anybody, having been here since 2022, that we just demand excellence from our players and know that these guys are capable of so much. And I genuinely, in good faith, believe Nick ignores the dumbasses that are out there and truly locks in. And he said that he heard people talking shit and he locked in more, and he knew he had to be better, and he did that. Launches that home run, walks us off. It was his 5th walk-off of the year. Nick has been a walk-off king for the Phillies this year. And I said it when I was in the stands with CFO Margie. Nick made that sliding catch to end the top of the 9th inning. Whenever Nick makes that sliding catch to his right, the Phillies come up clutch and win the game. That is just a sign from the universe saying, hey, I got you. Is giving Nick that moment to make that clutch catch, and then he goes and walks it off for us. And the series is now tied 1-1. We go to New York with Aaron Nola on the mound in Game 3. Oh, I love this team, guys. I love this team so much, and I think we all get passionate about this team because we care so much about their potential and what we know they're capable of, and that's why it gives us so much stress and anxiety and chaos inside of us. It's because we genuinely care and we know what this team can do. We know what this team is truly capable of doing, and it makes you just want, we want it just as much as they do. They know that we want this. We know that they want this. And, I'm not trying to be some conspiracy person here when it comes to the shadows that are at Citizens Bank Park, but I'll tell you what, as soon as the shadows went away, the Phillies bats came to life. Shadows were gone about the 5th inning. The 6th inning rolled around and the Phillies started putting runs on the board. I don't know what it is, but maybe there's some truth to it. I know it sounds stupid. It sounds very hokey and excuse-laden, but I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to the shadow theory at Citizens Bank Park. Nonetheless, the Phillies get it done, and obviously Nicky C deserves all the love, all the credit for his performance today. The home run was unbelievable. From going from first to home was unbelievable. The walk-off was unbelievable. But I also got to give love to the birthday boy. Bryson Stott was fantastic in this game. And I haven't even mentioned, going in this game, it was announced that Edmundo Sosa was starting and Alec Bohm was getting benched. I was totally fine with it. And you guys know, I'm the biggest Alec Bohm supporter probably on the planet. We've believed in Alec Bohm since the moment he got drafted. And that's my guy through and through. But he has not... His approach at the plate has been not great. And I still think there's lingering issues from his injury, from getting hit on the hand, because he has not looked the same since that injury. And maybe he's still dealing with some of the side effects of the injury and everything, and that's fine. Injuries happen. But last year and the year before, Rob Thompson was crucified for not switching the lineup up, not making changes, and just sticking with what he knew. He went in and made decisions, and people still want to crucify him. But guess what? At the end of the day, Rob Thompson pushed enough buttons to get this team a win, and they did what they had to do. And I thought Edmundo Sosa, even though he didn't really deliver on the hitting side of things, he was solid in the field, and that's what you needed from him. But there were people pregame talking about how Bryson Stott should have been the one bench for Edmundo Sosa, and Sosa playing second rather than third. Listen to me, guys. Number one, the Mets had a right-handed pitcher on the mound. You're not going to sit one of your lefties against a right-handed pitcher. Number 2, Stott has had some success against Luis Severino in his career. It's been there. It hasn't been like crazy, but it's been there. Number 3, Bryson Stott's defense, which I haven't even touched on. Bryson Stott saved a run in the field today. That catch is going to be lost in the mix of the chaos of the back and forth of scoring in this game. That catch saved a run early on in this game. That catch that Bryson Stott made in the field was spectacular. Okay? That's another reason you don't bench him. You have spectacular Gold Glove caliber defense behind Christopher Sanchez in this game with Bryson Stott there. And I'm not saying Alec Boehm doesn't provide that. Boehm's been great in the field this year too. But Bryson Stott's defense has been unbelievable this season and should potentially be the Gold Glove winner for second base. And the final part, it's his birthday. Baseball's a weird sport, guys. And it's something as small as it's a big day for somebody in their personal life that can spark the beginning of something for them, figuring things out at the plate, figuring things out for themselves in their game. And look at what Bryson Stott did today. Look at what Bryson Stott did today on his birthday. What an awesome day for him. 2 for 4, scores a run, drives in 2, makes a spectacular play in the field. It was an unbelievable day for Bryson Stott. I couldn't be happier for him. Bryson Stott's another guy that, like, through and through, I've been extremely supportive of, and it's been an up and down year for him, and a lot of spots where he's regressed from last year, but a lot of spots he's gotten better. Defensively, he's been unbelievable. But a game like this is why you don't bench Bryson Stott. Plain and simple. Bryson Stott should be co-MVP with Nick Castellanos in this game. Those two, along with Bryce, those are like your 3 stars of the game. They made shit happen. And Christopher Sanchez as well was awesome. Gave you 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, only walked 1, only gave up 2 earned runs. And again, like, 2 earned runs should not feel like this mountainous thing to overcome for this Phillies team. And at points, it felt like that. And then you bring in Jose Ruiz. He gives up a run. And, like, I like Jose Ruiz. I think he's a very good pitcher. But to bring him in that spot was kind of wild. And that was, like, the one button, the topper push that I was like, huh? Kerkering comes in, gets 3 strikeouts, gives up the 1 run and a walk. Estevez pitches an inning, gets a strikeout. Strahm pitches 2/3 of an inning, gets the strikeout, gave up the 2 earned runs on the home run. And then Hoffman comes in to seal the deal with the final out there in the 9th, and gets the win. But, you know, Cody Clemens in this game was clutch. Rojas got on base again. You have to take advantage of times when Johan Rojas gets on base, man. JT was sensational, both behind the plate and, gets the RBI on the fielder's choice there. But, man, this is what happens when the top of your lineup produces. Trey Turner today, 2 for 4. Bryce Harper, 1 for 3 with 2 walks. And that was the approach thing, too, that we were talking about in Game 1, was Bryce Harper drew 2 walks in Game 1, and then as soon as somebody got on base, he abandoned his approach. You can't do that. And look what happens today for Bryce. A great game from him. And he was spectacular in the field, too. Made some unbelievable defensive plays at first base. Nick Castellanos, 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBI, and obviously the big home run and the walk-off hit. Bryson Stott, 2 for 4 in this game. Rojas goes 1 for 1. Cody Clemens comes in as a pinch hitter and goes 1 for 2. And Austin Hayes got in the game, went 0 for 1, but Schwarber went 0 for 5. But your 2 through 5 hitters, I'll give JT credit. He got the RBI there. That drove in a huge run. That run that Stott scores on JT's fielder's choice was massive. So, your 2 through 5 giving you the run production that you needed. That's when this team is at their best, and they did it playing small ball. Trey when he's on the base paths, that's when he's at his best. Can steal bases. He had 2 stolen bases in this game. Drew that walk, which was huge in the 9th inning. And this team gets a big 7-6 win in an instant Citizens Bank Park Classic. And when I tell you guys the noise levels as soon as things started going our way, when Harper launches his home run, when Nicky C goes back-to-back with him, when Stott gets that unbelievable triple, the energy in that stadium erupted. It woke up a sleeping giant. And now, I have been to 3 previous postseason games, which were all last year. I was at the Stott Grand Slam game, I was at the Harper Stare-Down game, and I was at the Merrill Kelly 10-run montage onslaught game against the Diamondbacks in Game 2 of the NLCS. Tonight was different. Those games were huge because it was one of those things where you felt like the favorite. You felt like the stars were aligned in those games that I was at. This game, I had never felt more nervous walking into Citizens Bank Park in my life. I was nervous. I was on edge. And when the crowd erupted and woke up as soon as Harper hit that home run, it was like Peter Parker in Infinity War seeing the hairs on his arm stand up, because that was what this team needed. This team needed that spark. They needed that moment. And when everyone realized that ball was over the fence, it was special. And the noise level for Stott's triple and Nick's walk-off and Nick's home run even, like, it was crazy. And, like, when Nick walked it off, like, I know it sounds nuts, but, like, it was an emotional game. It was so back and forth, and you didn't know what was going to happen. And this was such a must-win game for the Phillies. Like, my mom and I hugged. Like, I felt like I was going to cry just from the pure, raw emotion of this game. It was nuts. And for them to come out on top really showed you that this team has guts. They showed you what they're made of, and they're alive. I was yelling it when Harper and Nick hit those home runs. I was like, "We're alive! We're alive!" Man, I love this team, guys. But yeah, I mean, what a game! This I tweeted this, and I saw some other people say, this is you'll remember where you were when Nick Castellanos hit that walk-off. This is a remember where you were game. And it's crazy that I've been at 4 postseason games, and they all are kind of like that. Oh, man. Like, I have no voice. I have chills just thinking. Like, I smile watching all the highlights from tonight. I'm so proud of Nick Castellanos, of Bryson Stott, Harper coming through like the big dog that he is, Trey Turner bouncing back after an abysmal game 1. It calms your nerves a little bit winning this game. It sucks that you lost the Wheeler game. And I did a live stream after the game on Saturday that we basically recorded an episode to react to it, which is available on the podcast feed. And you were 6 outs away from being up 2-0, so that kind of hurts. But you're kind of in a solid spot now. You know, the button that Topper pushes to pitch Chris Sanchez tonight puts you in a great spot for Game 3. Like a great spot. Because now you have Aaron Nola on the mound in Game 3. And that's huge. And I don't know if these dweebs have announced who's starting on Tuesday for them yet. Oh, yeah, it's Sean Manaea. So it's Manaea versus Nola. And I feel great about Aaron Nola being available for this game now. You know, it's a good feeling. Now, while it sucks that you didn't win Game 1 and the home field advantage was lost, you can gain it right back by winning Game 3. Win Game 3, and this is where you want to be. Game 3 is a must-win for the Phillies. Because if you go up 2-1, put the Mets' backs against the walls, you're feeling real good. But we'll talk about Game 3 on Wednesday with Liv Smith coming on the pod. But, I mean, more on this game, pitching-wise. Christopher Sanchez in his first, big moment. You know, he's pitched a couple innings in the postseason for this team before, and they were great innings. But this is his first, big start. And after losing Game 1, Christopher Sanchez, this was already going to be the biggest start of his career. And it got amplified that much more because of the Game 1 loss. And I thought he was great. You know, I would give him a B+ for the way that he pitched. 5 innings, only gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Christopher Sanchez was great today in such a huge spot for him. I thought he was great. I thought he pitched really, really well. You know, Ruiz giving up the 3 hits and the earned run there was tough. But then the Phillies got it right back in the 6th inning. And then Kirkring gave up the run. Fine, you know, but the Phillies got him right back. And then Estevez was fantastic, and he only pitched 8 pitches or 7 pitches or something like that. So I was kind of surprised that Topper didn't throw him back out there for the 9th and brought Strahm and Hoffman in. But that also tells me that he wants Strahm and Hoffman to know that he's got faith in them still. He's not thrown in the towel on them after Game 1 and them not being able to close out on 0-2 pitches when they were brought into the game and holding the lead for Wheeler and the Phils. So that's a positive kind of spin and twist on that. I know a lot of people were confused by the fact that both Strahm and Hoffman were brought in. I kind of like it from the perspective of your manager and player, where it's like, hey, just because you didn't get the job done in Game 1, I'm not going away from you. I'm not keeping you, off the mix in the bullpen here. You're going to get time. You are our big dogs. You were all-stars for a reason, and I'm going to use you. I like that from your manager. Now, Strahm, he's got to be better, and I think he would tell us that. I think he would tell anybody that he's got to be better. But again, it wasn't a bad pitch, that he threw to Vientos. He just fucking hacked at that thing like a lumberjack up at his eyeballs, pretty much. So I mean, you can't be mad at that. But it does suck optically, obviously. But the Phillies, even the series, it's 1-1 going to Citi Field now, that absolute waste bin of a stadium. And I got to say, Mets fans are the biggest pansies ever. They're crying online. Losers. Absolute losers. One thing I did find interesting being at the game tonight, and I saw people talking about in Game 1, and I was like, all right, how much credence can I put into this? But after watching it in real time, I was blown away by the fact that ushers at Citizens Bank Park, like the people that bring you to your seats, were actively telling people throughout the game to sit down when we were standing up. I witnessed it in real time with a couple people down in my section, like a row down and a few seats over. I witnessed it in real time. I was blown away. And then I when I was able to get service and was on Twitter in between innings, I saw it happening to other people. I don't know what that is. I had never witnessed that at Citizens Bank Park in my life, especially in a playoff game. Like, you have to realize, if you're a fan going to these games, this is the playoffs. This is not, Tuesday in May. This is not, a Friday night out in July. This is the postseason. This is a different breed of game. And people are spending crazy money. I understand that. But if they want to stand and root for their team and get the energy in the stadium up to help will the team to victory, you should be allowed to stand whenever. Okay? That is, like, it was mind-boggling that I witnessed it in real time, and that I witnessed, like, multiple people online saying that it was happening to them. It was crazy to me. And I would love to hear an explanation about that, but it's the playoffs, guys. Like, fans, if they're not doing anything that's out of pocket and, like, harming other people, and they're just standing up and rooting for the team that they paid money to get in the building to root for, let them root for the team. There was somebody in my section, like 4 rows up from me, who fell 4 rows down, and nobody batted an eye. But somebody stands up to root for the team that they are actively there for, to support and will to victory, and you're telling them to sit down? That is legit insane to me. I would love an explanation. I would love to know why that has become a thing, because that is just anti-postseason baseball. I'm sorry. That is not how postseason baseball should be. You should not have employees in your stadium actively, like, trying to kill the vibe of your fans. Like, I had no answer for it. I was flabbergasted, and if anybody knows the answer to that, please hit me up, because I would love to know, and I would love to speak to whoever brought up that concept, because that is just insane. And that was part of the early, like, weird vibes. Like, the early vibes at Citizens Bank Park today, it just did not feel right. It was off. And actively telling fans to sit down when they're cheering for their favorite team is lunacy to me. Lunacy. Before I keep it pushing,
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
I do want to talk to you guys about our pals over at FOCO. I'm rocking the overalls right now, fresh from Citizens Bank Park. I got these bad boys on. I wear them all the time for the big games. It's my big game overalls. FOCO has you covered to get your overalls, your shortalls, sunglasses, hats, apparel, collectibles. They are the place to do it. It's all officially licensed. It's always cool seeing the FOCO gear at Citizens Bank Park as well. that is available, and FOCO has been the best. They hooked me up with the overalls last year right before the postseason, and I've been rocking them ever since. And I have short hauls on the way. I finally was able to pull trig on the short hauls, and they'll be here pretty soon, which I'm very happy about. Get your overalls, get your short hauls, get your officially licensed Phillies gear from our pals over at FOCO by clicking the link in the description. We also have a curated shopping list for you of all the essentials for Red October from our pals over at FOCO that is in the description. Click that bad boy, use our link, get geared up for Red October, because we have a series. We have a series now, ladies and gentlemen. But get yours today by clicking the link in the description. And big thank you to FOCO for being big-time supporters of the podcast, and allowing us to look our best in Red October and all year long. We opened up a voicemail line that is available. Link is in the description as well for whenever you want to call in and leave your voicemails for us. They are they're going to be a fun part of the show, I think. I saw some success and a lot of people calling into our F1 podcast using the voicemail line. We're going to incorporate it for this show once a week, and get people's thoughts, get people to vent and go crazy, and you have 90 seconds to do it. That is the limit right now as we test it out and see the value of it. But leave your voicemails, click the link. It's the SpeakPipe link. Use that bad boy to leave your voicemails and call into the show. Voicemails will be on every Monday. It'll be Voicemail Monday whenever there's new ones and you leave them for us. So after Phillies games, call in. We'll play them on Monday shows. Unless, obviously, it coincides with a game, then we'll play them when they are relevant to play. Call in during, before, and after Eagles games, Sixers, Flyers, Union, Wings, Water Dogs, everything. Just leave voicemail. We want to get this rolling. I think it's going to be a fun addition to the show, especially with it being just me hosting the show for the time being. So yeah, leave a voicemail. I know we got one tonight that we're going to play for you now, and that is from longtime supporter, follower of the show, listener of the show, viewer of the show, our girl Lex. So here is Lex's voicemail following tonight's game, and we're going to play it for the people right now.
Hey, Underground Sports Philly fam. It's your girl, Alex23 on Twitter. I've finally calmed down and caught my breath enough to send you guys a message, and I just have to say, what a fucking game by the one, the only, Nicholas Castellanos. I mean, listen, I know some people are back and forth on the booing. Most of us know we boo the guys that we love, and we know that they can be better and do better because they are better. And holy fuck, did he respond. Not once, not twice, but multiple times, including the most important of which, to walk off the game. I mean, holy shit, was that electric. I am so counting on this being the spark that leads them to, be the Phillies that we know they can be and go on and take this series. And in the words of Chase Utley, fuck the Mets. Let's go Phils, baby.
Hell yeah. Fuck the Mets, baby. It was awesome tonight too. Jimmy Rollins was in the building tonight, which really got the crowd going too. When they put Jimmy up on the screen, he was waving a rally towel around. But thank you to Lex for calling in. Big time fuck the Mets energy. There was a lot of fuck the Mets chants after the game too, which was awesome. But yeah, I mean, this genuinely could be the spark that they need. I said, as soon as Bryce hit that home run, it felt like it brought life back to not only the fans, but I think the team and to Citizens Bank Park too. It's been a struggle the last 3 games in the playoffs there, and to kind of have the life. It was like the video meme of dude, yeah, like coming back to life. It was definitely like the spark that they needed, and Nick's stare down of his home run, like off the rip, he knew it was gone. And then, that hustle play of him going first to home was huge on Stott's triple. And then to walk it off in 2024 Nick Castellanos fashion, where that was his fifth walk-off, like I said, his fifth walk-off of the year. He has been so consistent, so clutch for this team post-Memorial Day. And he is a huge reason why the Phillies are even in the playoffs to begin with. That slump was rough, and he kept them afloat all summer long. Played in 162 out of 162, and is the first player since Jimmy Rollins in 07 to do that. And tonight, according to Destiny Legardo and Jason Stark, I saw both of them post this on Twitter, this was the Phillies' first walk-off postseason win since Game 4 of the NLCS against the Dodgers by the one and only Jimmy Rollins, who was in the building tonight. So, yes, I genuinely think, like, this is a game that injects so much life into a team and flips the script of the series. I think this series has, shifted momentum-wise to the Phillies, and obviously that's a little, recency bias there maybe, and team bias being that, we're all Phillies fans here. But I do think you sensed something different about them as soon as the runs started trickling in, and you felt like the life was back. And I think now you have to keep your foot on the pedal and take this thing to the next level at Citi Field and silence that crowd there, and really bring it in what's going to be another crazy environment. Like, I think this team is built to do it. I think they have the guys to, like, step up to the plate, no pun intended, and really use this game to carry them during these next two games at Citi Field. And it could truly be the spark that this team needed. And it sucks that Game 1 went the way that it did, but you got tonight, and that's what mattered. You could not go down 0-2 and lose both at home. That would have been the season over pretty much. So to get this one back, even the playing field, and now have an opportunity to go with one of your most consistent and big game pitchers in Game 3 is a massive boost for this team. So I genuinely do agree with Lex. And again, thank you for calling in. Everybody, you can call in by clicking the link in the description. Leave your voicemails for us. Would love to hear from everybody moving forward, as many people as possible. So yeah, I do think this game is a catalyst for more success on Tuesday, on whatever it may be, whatever the next game is after Tuesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and then hopefully, the Phillies close it out, win the next two, and you don't have to play on Friday. But if you do, hopefully it's, the momentum and the vibes that you need. And I think this team, they're back. I think they found that spark. They found that energy, and you saw it on Bryce Harper's emotions. You saw it on Nick's emotions. You saw it on Bryson Stott. This team has their swagger going into Game 3, and that's exciting if you're a Phillies fan, for sure. You should be pumped if you're a Phillies fan, that this team is playing swagger-filled baseball again, and this is why we play. This game, I joked with my mouth, like, this game was like going into baseball war. It was going to be a battle for the players, for the coaches, and for the fans. It was going to be a battle. And to the 45,000 plus at Citizens Bank Park that were rooting for the Phils, good on us. we stayed true, we stayed loyal, we stayed active and ready. And when they needed us most, we stepped up with them and gave them that juice, I think. And they felt it. I think, the managers and coaches felt it from us. And this was a huge win. This was, like I said, this was a remember when type of game. And I do want to point this out, too, because, the Dodgers lost tonight. It's now 1-1 in that series. Everyone needs to keep that same energy with the Dodgers. They got absolutely shellacked. After game 1, the Phillies were the only team to lose that had home field advantage. But my boy Mark Kramer, again, coming through with the stats. My boy is on fire right now. The 2023 Atlanta Braves scored 8 total runs in the NLDS. The 2024 Phillies, after 2 games in the NLDS this year, have scored 9 runs. Again, people want to say it's not the bye week. The bye week is not an issue. It's your approach at the plate and having the right approach. Look at what the Guardians, the Dodgers, the Padres, and I know the Padres were a wild card team, but look at their approach in game 1 and look at their approach tonight. The Yankees, look at those the 3 teams that had the bye, I'll say. The Guardians, Yankees, and Dodgers. In game 1, they had their plate approach there. They were disciplined at the plate, and they scored runs. The Phillies did not. They had elite pitching, but they did not have the proper approach to the plate, and it cost them. Now in this one, you fix your approach. You go pound for pound, band for band with the team, but you fix your approach, and when it mattered most, and that was key. Because when the Phillies are getting on base, when they're playing a little bit of small ball, when they go base to base, station to station, and not relying on the home run. Like, the home run can be there, but it doesn't need to be the end all be all. When they are playing that style of game where the home run is just an ingredient to the offense, that is when they are at their best. That is when they are the best team in baseball in 2024, is when they are a complete offense. They showed that tonight. They got the fans back. They woke up the bank. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Citi Field and we have a series. I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. You should be too. Get some good rest. We have an off day on Monday. But Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be a battle. And we need to be prepared for what is to come for these next 2 games. And hopefully the Phils can take care of business with Nola and Ranger Suarez on the mound. And then we're moving on to the NLCS, and the Dodgers and Padres can continue to beat up on each other. And we'll see, how it all shakes out. But, biggest thing, Phil's got to win game 3. Aaron Nola on the mound. Take advantage of having, a 1A ace going for you in game 3. And we'll be ready to rock and roll. Huge win. Unbelievable win. I'm happy I was there for it. I don't care that my voice is gone. It's so worth it. And being in an environment like that was something I'll remember forever. So shout out to everybody that was in our section too. We had great vibes, great people around us. It was unbelievable. And I'm just so happy that they pulled this one out. This was a game for the ages, an instant classic at Citizens Bank Park. Where were you when Nick Castellanos hit the walk-off against the Mets in the postseason? Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. You can follow me at KBIZZL311 on Twitter and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify. Leave a 5-star review. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. YouTube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network. New episodes drop Mondays and Thursdays. So definitely subscribe, leave a like on the video, ring the bell icon, drop a comment down below how hype you are, how stoked, who were your MVPs. Mine, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, Bryce Harper, and Christopher Sanchez. Those were my guys who really shined for me in a multitude of ways. Let me know who was your game MVP. Leave us a voicemail. It's linked in the description. We will play voicemails every Monday episode, Voicemail Monday, to get you started off right, hearing from the people and hearing from your boy. And, of course, get your merch, guys. Gear up for Red October with our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. They have awesome Fuck the Mets type vibe shirts. They've got great Philly sports merch for you for the Phils for Red October. And they also have exclusive Underground Sports Philadelphia merch as well. Click the link in the description or go to phiapparel.co. And when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order. That's 10% off your next merch order with code UNDERGROUND at phiapparel.co, or click the link in the description and use that promo code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your order. And this show is presented by the City of Vineland, and whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 679, a big-time Red October win edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy, KB. I will talk to you alongside Liv Smith on Wednesday, hopefully talking about the Phils moving on to the NLCS for a third straight year. But until then, leave your voicemails. We'll hear from you guys. Let's enjoy this win, and we're on to Game 3. Big game Marinola on deck. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Go Phils! Ring that bell, baby.